Hey everybody, welcome to Board Online, Board Offline. Today we're bringing you part 3 of our top 30 in 30 minutes best games of all time. So this is of course numbers 10 through 1. Now this list, if you didn't catch it in the previous 2 videos, is based off of 1,530 plays of 198 games. There's actually a couple extra plays there, a couple extra games there. I did get up to 200. The list was originally created off of what I just mentioned, and then I played a couple more new games after that. And that's 1,257 total hours of game time, or 10 days and 3 hours. So we're going to get right into this list. If you haven't seen the other ones, be sure to check them out. I'll put a link to the original one right here so you can go start at the beginning if you haven't seen it. And I do want to mention our sponsor, Board Game Code. This is a great website where you can buy, sell, and trade games. They have a great selection for you to choose from. All kinds of great games there with really good prices. You can sell games to them. So if you're looking just to clean out your collection, sell your games over there. And you will, of course, get a decent amount in return. And then if you are looking to trade games, which I think is the coolest feature over there, they will link right into your Board Game Geek account, build a trade list off of what you have that they want, what they have that you want, and then you can mix and match until you have a trade that suits you and trade your games with them. Board Game Code makes it easy to buy, sell, and trade your way into a better collection. And if you head over there, be sure to click the link in the description below so they know I sent you over there. And 10 minutes starts right now. All right, so PAX Emancipation is the next one, or is number 10 on the list. PAX Emancipation is about the global struggle to outlaw slavery, starting in the late 19th century, or 18th century, and moving on all the way up through the 19th century as there was this global push to make slavery illegal. And you play one of 3 factions. If you're playing solo, you actually have to play as 2 factions. And the board are just regular sized cards that make up the globe. You have a global map in front of you, and you're going around trying to create freedmen, and meanwhile the game will be trying to counteract your chances there. You over on this side, you have a thing called you have the Bill of Rights, and you have something else, and you're basically passing laws, and you have all these different ideas, and there's a lot of real world facts and people and references in the game, so that it's a little bit on the educational side while you're doing it. PAX Emancipation is a ton of fun. Steep learning curve, but it's worth getting through it. That's PAX Emancipation. Number 9 is Root. Root is basically it's a coin game, counterinsurgency, but has all these woodland factions in it. You have the Marquis de Cat, you have the Erie, you have the Woodland Alliance, you have a Vagabond, and all 4 factions are vying for control of this forest and fighting and blowing each other up and building, factories and stuff. And it's this, each of the 4 factions have very, very different ways that they play, different ways that they win, different ways they score points. And with the expansions, I believe there's now a total of 8 factions. I have 6. There's one expansion I don't have, so I believe I only have 6 factions. Root is such an amazing experience, and with the mechanical, I forget what it's called, but there's a solo expansion you can get that makes it a really, really cool solo experience. That's Root, number 9. Number 8 is the Dale of Merchants series. Now, there's Dale of Merchants 1, 2, 3, and the Dale of Merchants collection. They're all the same game. They're basically all standalone expansions of each other, so I'm including the entire series here. They all have, each of them comes with about 6 factions apiece, and it's a hand management set collection game, and basically you are collecting cards from the market. Each of them have different values, and you're trying to build stalls in front of you here, 1 through 8. And you have to build them in order, so the first one has to be valued at 1, the next one valued at 2, and so you're collecting these cards that are valued at different amounts in order to eventually build. But the faster you build, the less you're going to have in your hand, because all these cards have special abilities too. So you really have to plan out when you're going to do it, because if you build too fast, you all of a sudden will find you don't have a whole lot in your hand that you're able to use to do anything. That's Dale of Merchants. Number 7 is Spirit Island. Spirit Island is such a cool cooperative game where you are the indigenous people of an island that colonists are showing up at, and you're really playing the gods of the spirits of these indigenous people, and you're helping to basically freak out the colonists. You're scaring them. You're fighting them off. Fear plays a big part in this game, and you're trying to repel the invaders, basically. A really, really cool theme you don't see very often from that point of view. Most of the time, you see it from the opposite point of view, where you are the colonist. So this game is so crunchy and has such deep interactions between how the different spirits can work together that it really, really can take a long time to really feel like you've mastered this game. Spirit Island is a lot of fun. My number 7. Twilight Imperium 4th Edition, number 6. Finally, I wanted to play Twilight Imperium since I got into the hobby, and finally got an opportunity to play 4th Edition. A buddy of mine bought it. Such an incredible experience. We only managed to get 3 total people together to play it, which isn't the ideal number to play TI4 with. But it was such a good experience with just 3 that I cannot even imagine how good of an experience it'll be the next time I get to play, when I have 4 or 5 or 6 people playing the game. It's a massive space opera of a game. You all are playing these very different factions that are vying for control of this galaxy. There's an abandoned capital in the center of the board, capital planet. Once you get to that capital planet, when somebody takes that over, then you end up having this extra stage in the game where you're passing laws and all kinds of stuff like that. And you've got a tech tree, and like I said, every faction is very different. Amazing experience. TI4, number 6. Number 5 is MADRE, Unintentional Malum, Act 1. Now, I haven't backed Act 2 and 3, but Act 1 is so much fun. I've put my campaign on hold with this because there's a update coming out for the rules, and I kind of want to get that update pack before I continue going. I might pick it up before that, but we'll see. This is a massive campaign game where each of the characters that you play, they start off with suggested builds for the characters, but the characters don't really have a whole lot of inherent abilities. They have a few, but not a whole lot of inherent abilities, and so you're able to create your own class for each of these guys. Because you can strip down all of their abilities and restart their tech tree. It's an ability tree or whatever. They can use whatever weapons, whatever armor. It's such a cool idea and experience. The artwork is amazing, and the story is a book this thick. It's like 600 pages of story. Some of the chapters in the book have 9 pages of text between them of story. Amazing experience, MADRE. Number 4 is Mage Knight, the board game. Mage Knight is like one of the original top solo experiences. I also like playing it with 2 players. I'll probably never play it with more than that. It is a deck building game to an extent, but really what you're doing is you're going across this landscape. You're fighting monsters, you're finding mines to get crystals, you're going to monasteries, either helping out or either being nice to the people in the monastery or burning it to the ground to get to their artifact. You've got strongholds you fight, and ultimately what you're trying to get to are these cities and take out the cities, because you are this big badass mage knight, and that's what you've been sent to do, is take down these cities for whatever reason. Lots of different scenarios. They all play sort of the same, but some of them are very, very different. And Mage Knight was one of the first games that I really felt like solo gaming could be this epic experience. That's Mage Knight, the board game. Number 3 is Tainted Grail, The Fall of Avalon. Tainted Grail is another very story-heavy solo experience. It's another one where I'd probably play with 2 players. Don't think I'd want to go beyond that. I've played with 3 players once, probably not again. Tainted Grail takes place in the King Arthur time frame. You have a very unique combat system where you're playing cards down in a row and they have symbols. You got to match up the symbols to make them work. And there's a diplomacy system that's very similar to that. Similar to 7th Continent in terms of the map is already, like, the geography is predetermined, but as you lay it out, different things might happen. And the weirdness is this corruption that's seeping in, and you have to build these menhirs in order to push the weirdness back. And it's a pretty dark but intense and cool experience. That's Tainted Grail. Number 2 is Gloomhaven. Gloomhaven is a massive 99 scenario campaign game. A few little elements of legacy, but for the most part, it is just a campaign game. A lot of unlockable characters. Combat is all about the cards in your hand. You don't draw from a deck. You have all your cards up front. You play the top ability of one card, the bottom ability of another card, and you end up fighting. And then after you complete the scenario, it unlocks more scenarios, and you go to one of those. You can level your characters up. You can get equipment, all kinds of cool stuff. So many unlockable characters, and now Frosthaven has just funded on Kickstarter. And number 1, yet again, Kingdom Death Monster. This game has really, really grabbed me. I got to teach it at Mace, which is a con up in Charlotte. Or up in North Carolina, and so I taught this to a whole bunch of people. I've been playing it so much solo lately. You are these survivors in this nightmarish hellscape. There's no sun. It's always dark. You're fighting off these massive monsters that completely outclass you in terms of strength and speed. But with you have 4 survivors that go out to hunt, and they manage to overcome, hopefully, these monsters. But you're constantly having survivors die, so you've always got to find ways to either have new survivors born or find more survivors out there. That's my time. And you can't get connected. You can't get attached, I should say, to the survivors, because it's not about the survivors. It's about the settlement itself. Can you make the settlement survive to the end of 30 Lantern years? I'm about to play my 25th Lantern year right now of this campaign, which is fighting a guy called the Watcher, who I've never fought before, and I will have a video for that. Kingdom Death Monster is an experience unlike any other. And I know I'm past my time. The last thing I'll say about Kingdom Death is that when somebody first starts playing it, the game can feel like it is just a random luck fest. The deeper you get into it, the more you unlock, the more equipment you acquire, you start to realize that, in fact, it is not. It is all about the synergies, and once you really start linking these synergies together and making them work for you, it really feels like the luck is driven way down in the game, and it has become more about the skill of how to make it all work together. So that's Kingdom Death Monster number 1. That is my entire top 30 in 30 minutes, best games of all time. I hope you all enjoyed this list. Be sure to check out the previous 2 videos if you haven't seen them. Coming up next is going to be my Kingdom Death Monster Watcher Showdown. So be sure to keep an eye open for that. And until next time, if you're bored online, bored offline.